Carson Daly. Weekday mornings on LA's 97.1 AMP Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen. Our next guest.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
Let's warmly welcome back
Katy Perry!
Katy Perry!
Is this Booker?
Present.
Booker, I've got Katy on the phone.
Hello, Booker.
There she is. Hi, Katy. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Tell me everything.
I'm just looking at a beautiful view of the ocean. That constant, consistent, beautiful blue that makes me very calm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with Rise. I know you had this Olympic song. Did they come to you? Did Michael Phelps call you and say, hey, Kate, we need a song? How's that go down?
Michael. No, I don't. You know, it's funny. It was like Rise was one of the first songs I wrote coming back to make a new record, which is what I'm doing right now. Is I'm in the middle of making my next record, and it was kind of in the batch, and it wasn't completely finished, but it definitely had like those really inspiring undertones. And I guess I just really relate to this underdog feeling, and I always have. Like, I'm a Scorpio, and I relate to the phoenix and just someone coming out of the ashes and rising again and never being defeated and all that stuff. And that general feeling is something that I really resonate with. And I've always tried to write that song kind of about the story of the phoenix. And it's so funny that they just came and they said, you know, do you have anything that you're working on? And I was like, actually, I do. I have this song that I think will fit perfectly. It feels very anthemic. It feels very grand.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a movie, and I think it will give you a little extra pep in your step.
So was it completely finished? Did you have to tinker with it at all because of the Olympics and the theme? Or was it like dead on done already?
No, I mean, I really call my own shots and have for a very long time. And so for me, like, you know, when somebody asks me to do something, I either say, okay, well, I'm going to go and do it, and then it's going to come out as it is, and I take constructive criticism. I'm not a monster. I have a committee of people that I trust their opinions and things like that. But it's not like, you know, people tell me how to write. I just, you know, I digest the feeling that, you know, they wanted, and I had already started something, and I was like, I think this will work for you, and I guess it just worked.
Speaking of music, when the hell are you putting out an album? Is it done? Have you started? Are you writing with anyone? Where are we in this process?
I'm right in the thick of it. I am doing a lot of experimenting and taking chances. I'm definitely taking some chances this record.
How so? Give me an example.
Well, I'm growing as an artist. I'm not doing, you know, the regular thing. I'm working with different producers that maybe people wouldn't imagine me to work with, or different co-writers, or things like that. And also, like, I'm not rushing. Like, I feel like I've earned my spot a little bit, and I can take a little time, and I've earned the trust of the listener's ear. I think when music is good, nobody remembers the time it took to make it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, once it comes out and you're like, holy crap, like, this is a record on fire, nobody's going to be like, well, she took forever to make it. It's like, no, I'm just going to enjoy it.
Right.
I'm just going to, like, I'm going to relate to it. I'm going to connect with it. And that's what I'm going for. I'm going for music that connects and relates and inspires.
Do you think anything will be so wildly different that someone will say, wow, this doesn't even sound like Katy Perry? And not that that's a good or bad thing, but do you think there are any of those tracks that could happen with?
No, I mean, I think when you know me as like Katy Perry who puts out singles, then you don't know all of me. But if you listen to my records and the things that I've put out and offered, you know, as a complete story, then I think you understand the different colors that I can play with. So I play with a lot of different themes and stories and like sounds and sonics and stuff like that. So I don't think that there's anything I can't try. And I think that, like, you know, people didn't expect me to have a hit with a trap song like Dark Horse, but it just happened.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That song seemed like it was almost after the fact, like a bunch of people just kind of put it on and we all were like, wait a minute, this is really different and cool, and it worked.
Thanks. Yeah, here's the thing is, like, I can call what's going to happen in my own life like 7 out of 10 times.
Right.
And like I've got a pretty good meter on like what I feel like is really going to work. You just get that feeling, that kind of goosebumps feeling when something is like hot. You're like, oh, I know, this is like lightning in a bottle.
But aren't the other 3 even more fun? The 3 out of 10 that you don't know that are coming?
Yeah. Well, I I mean, what I'm saying is, like, I get it wrong like 3 times out of 10.
Oh, you get it wrong. I just wondered if you were saying you could predict
7 out of 10 times, what's going to happen. But then there are some things where I'm like, well, that didn't work exactly like I wanted it to. But you know what? It was a self-expression. How about that?
Those are the most fun times in life, anyhow, when you screw something up. That's what I think, anyhow. That's the crap you remember. You never remember the good parts. It's always the bad things.
Well, everything is a lesson, isn't it?
We hope.
Yeah.
You performed at the DNC. What's that like? Because that's not necessarily a room full of Katy Perry fans. That's just a room of stodgy old people mostly that are there to vote and do whatever they do. But what was that like? Is it a weird thing for an artist to walk into a room like that? And I know you're a Hillary supporter, but is it a strange feeling?
Well, I didn't really have an exact grasp on how important that week was. I mean, I know everything is very important in these political times, for sure. But I wasn't watching the DNC 4 years ago because, it felt like Obama was more of a shoo-in. It wasn't like really anything so threatening. And then 4 years before that was kind of when my career was starting and I was holding on for dear life. I wasn't as politically involved and I wasn't as conscious as I am now about social movements and awareness and being an activist, really. And so I didn't really have a point of reference. So I said yes, of course, because whenever Hillary calls, I'm like, yeah, of course. What do you need, girl? I got you. So I got there and I was like, oh, yeah, this is a big deal. Oh, my God, everybody's watching. And the news has really changed. Everybody's reporting on this information like never before. So I got there and I was like, wow, this is a big deal. And I was always taking it seriously, but like it is a different vibe. They don't lower the lights in the arena. Like there is no light show that I'm typically used to.
Right.
Because, I think there's security measures that have to be thought of. And the sound, it's so funny. I was fidgeting with my pack behind my back and the sound wasn't right. I think that the sound had gotten weird along the way because there's mostly speakers. There's not a lot of music. So it's mostly set for levels of speaking, and it's not that loud because they want everyone to be attentive and listening,
right.
So it was a different thing, but I think it worked, and I got a lot of really great feedback, and I'm just so happy to be on the trail with her at all times because I really believe in her and her message and her priorities and her fight for women's rights and for the world and just how she's going to be the boss.
Do you have the Hillary cell phone? Can you just pick up the phone and just call up Hill like, hey, Hill, it's Katy. How you doing?
Well, I did a thing for her in the very beginning. It's so funny because it was so different than the DNC. I was basically on a stage made of a flatbed truck in Iowa.
Yeah.
It was really low profile, and my costume was the most sparkly thing.
Mm-hmm.
And with me, I bring a lot of bells and whistles. I really like that.
Yeah.
And it was early in the morning, and it was freezing cold. It was her birthday the next day, I believe, or something like that. Yeah, or the next week. And I got her a gold-plated necklace that said POTUS.
That'll be cool. Like when she is the POTUS and you see her somewhere wearing that, you'll be like, I got her that.
Yeah, but like she called me. I don't think she called me from her cell phone, but she called me and left me a voicemail that I have on my phone, and it's really lovely. She's a very kind, compassionate, loving woman.
So this is a weird segue, going from something so heavy to something so light. You're going to have a shoe line?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a dude here, so you're going to have to sell this to the ladies right now because I have no question other than you have a shoe line?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. That question has been asked of me, like, Katy, when are you going to, foray into the fashion industry? And, when are you going to show, give your touch in that world? And so I kind of been working on this for several years. Like, I went and visited different shoemakers in Italy and met with a lot of different groups that would help kind of take my shoe business to the next level. And I'm just such a lover of fashion. I think people see that. One of the things that I really like is there's a lot of great brands out there that are fun and colorful and personality pieces, but they're kind of expensive. Like they're in the several hundred dollar range. And I wanted to be the person that brought that fun-loving shoe in a lower price point that's a lot more affordable, and for people that that are like my fans or like kids that are coming in my shows and they want to show off their personalities through their kicks. I think that this is like the start of what I want to do. I definitely want to be a serious contributor in this world and have taken it seriously. And, I think people like Gwen Stefani, who's done it well, and Victoria Beckham, who's done it well, they're kind of people I look towards.
The album, you want to give me a pseudo sort of date?
Oh, no.
No, you won't even give me like a ballpark of when this thing's coming out?
Let's just say that, you won't think of the time when you hear the record.
Okay.
Worry.
That's when the record gets brought up. That's when the record guy jumps in.
Right.
Katy, I got to get you back.
Record guys suck.
Sorry.
Katy, I love you. It's been great spending time with you, and we appreciate it, okay?
Okay, Booker, I appreciate it as well.
Carson Daly. For more, go to ampradio.com.